the ride, 'cause all the views will be nice. Lend the stories that we'll tell our friends, we'll make him laugh until the party ends. Oh, won't you stay for the ride? It's do or die.
So in the middle of my grievances yesterday, I finally got a breakthrough. And it feels like my editing has gone from being a level 3 to a level 10 overnight, and oh my gosh, the amount of improvement and effects, it's gonna be awesome. Nobody's gonna believe me, but this is, I didn't record, and I'll do it again. And while I wait for the video right there to export, which is my best vlog ever until maybe this one yesterday, I want to talk a little bit about why and the whole thing that I have been doing, because about 3 months ago, every single person that I knew, including myself, thought I was absolutely crazy to, in my 4th year of business, not only decide to completely pivot the model that I'm used to, which I did about a year and a half ago, which I guess has been worth it so far, but to also learn a skill that I think everybody thinks is below them in this industry, which is video production and editing, and really mastering that. And it's an opportunity that I was speaking about with the client today that I don't think anybody else sees, because as AI becomes more prevalent and as all of these skills that quite frankly are fleeting get more and more not only automated but far more competitive and harder to do, video production is one that stands alone, that if you are good at, you are going to absolutely dominate everybody. This basketball you're looking at right here represents the rigid, hard skills like accounting, running ads, operations, and all that kind of stuff. This ball represents creativity, so all video production, art, design, painting, music, all of that kind of stuff. You don't find people who got both of these very often. In most cases, it's either going to be absolutely one or it's going to be the other. And in both cases, the other one becomes complete victimhood. So you've got the very rigid, logical person that doesn't think they're creative and doesn't go out and do anything. And you have the very creative person who thinks that being so artsy allows them to pretty much just escape from the world and not see success or do logically conventional things in order to further themselves. It's close. This ball right here was me, and I had to kind of learn how to go ahead and adopt the mindset thinking of this ball by learning creativity, content production, and all of these things. And I know that's a really crappy diagram to explain this idea. However, if you are somebody and you have a skill like media buying, for example, when you go out and you have your service of being able to run ads, every single time that you launch a client account, you are taking on a massive risk in the sense of you have to have your skill, but then even if you have that skill, it doesn't necessarily warrant you get results. There are amazing media buyers and there are amazing copywriters who, quite frankly, will tell you majority of the time they're wrong, and that's what their profession is. The business of selling video, I noticed, was pretty different, because even with a commoditized service, just by having a crazy quality, you can charge someone a ridiculous amount for videos. So for example, the company Cluely paid $140,000 for a software startup video that was almost less than 3 minutes long. And I want you to put that into perspective. That video, the money got sent to the company who produced it before the video had gone live, and regardless of whether the video had gone viral, which means that it's a service that if you're really good at, you can collect these large lump sums up front, but you have to be really good at it. So it's a lot more work, but it mitigates far more risk. And for myself personally, I'm in the business of both getting results, so posting on social media and not knowing what's going to happen, but also the production end where you make this kind of world-class level stuff. And Jesse, I know you saw that. I've noticed that you've got the people that have either one of the balls or one of yeah, one of those two over there. And what ends up happening is it just, again, creates that victimhood mindset. But when you're able to combine both, you become a force of nature. And I think the perfect telltale example of this, whether you hate him or love him, is Iman. He's combined these cinematic world-class visuals while also being a very hardened and excellent business person from all of the more logical skills sense. And when you can do this, you create such a massive opportunity. So just to explain the best business model, I'm not sure what I'm going to title this. In simple terms, it is learning the skill of content on top of what you're already doing / in addition to it. And I don't mean like obsessing over hooks, algorithm, all that stuff, because while that is important, the most important thing overall is that if you learn to just produce world-class stuff, as time goes on, you'll inevitably learn the algorithm and you'll build up this tried and true vault. But if you make some of the best videos in the world, it is impossible not to get some crazy results on them. That being said, now to kind of wrap this back into my life, because I know I'm supposed to be vlogging here, I have got so much insight when it comes to how I should actually be editing, and now actually being able to implement all this stuff, that both for my main channel and my vlog channel, the cinematography still needs to improve, but the quality of what I'm doing is starting to get so good that I'm watching things on YouTube and my stuff is comparable, if not better in some ways, and I can figure out what people are doing and implement it without just looking at them in awe and thinking they're some magically crazy talented person. So I'm just so excited because I've been fighting for this for 2 years. Like, you can go back on this channel, even like within the period I've been doing these daily vlogs, it's just like, I try not to say like, however, I've been giving it my all. And yeah, it's just such an exciting feeling when you finally get to see not even the results. This feeling that I have right now, I didn't feel this when I got the views on the video. It was before, when I had the breakthrough, I had the idea and I knew I could do it, right? The moment when you know you can do it comes from the input and the skill and the attainment. And when you finally see the light of how you're gonna do it because you've reached that point of skill, I think that's the feeling that is truly amazing. So even with the shitstorm that has been the last 2 weeks of my life, it has really created a fire that is molding me into the person that I know I'm going to be, which I remind myself of twice a day in this thing here. So yeah, that is that. And I got guys in the Discord that I was chatting to today. If you do want to join, it is in the description. I'm not ever gonna sell anything out of this Discord. I don't want to make that claim and then walk back on it. I'm not selling anything on this Discord for a very long time because these videos get 10 views a pop, and really it's just a way to talk to me if you find that valuable. It is around 5 p.m. right now, and I've got 2 videos that I've edited today. I've done 2 meetings, one with the client, one with my editor, and now I'm just going to be spending the rest of the day probably working on client stuff, to be honest. I've got the final cut of the Tate video that I have to make all the edits to, and I can get both of the Tate videos for the business and main channel video live. However, I really want to make sure I just get the editing stuff out of the way for clients, and then that way I can really just go super in depth to make these videos amazing and world-class quality with these new skills and insights I've gotten over the weekend. But boy, people aren't ready. I'm so excited. It's gonna start getting crazy now. Just finished my run, and I'm actually going back and forth with a guy in the Discord right now. We're having a conversation about info, and then I'm actually helping him with his outreach right now. However, the big thing that I wanted to talk about, I guess to add on to the whole thing about business models I was talking about earlier, is the power of when you decide to commit to a business model, how long it's going to take to succeed. Because the guy I'm talking to, I completely blanked on his name, so my apology, but you know who you are, and anyone in the server can see. The big thing was, he was asking me, should he transition to speaking about info? And removing transitioning to info aside, The most important thing you can do in business is not switch niches, or for that factor at a micro scale, even switch strategies. It's such a underrated strategy to just stick with the same thing for a stupidly long period of time. And the less things you have, so the less variables you have within that thing even, or within your general life, the more energy gets put into each given thing, and therefore the rate of progression increases. So when you are looking to succeed, I would say it is pretty much guaranteed you'll be in the top 0.5% of the whole skill in anything you're doing if you commit to it for 5 years. It's really crazy, but I've never seen someone stay in the same business for more than 5 years and not succeed. And then even if they don't succeed in like the sense of having a massive win or breakthrough, like some guys will spend 10 years going for the exit, they'll at least have gotten some kind of breakthrough, like funding and all that kind of stuff. Within 5 years, it is actually more difficult to fail than it is to succeed. So when you understand that, combined with the principle that I just said, you start to just realize the key to your success is just doing less things and just doing more of them. And it's really foolproof. So yeah, just a little tidbit. Spend the night editing. I might pull another all-nighter. I don't know if I should. I'm gonna decide that. However, I'm gonna end today's video here, and yeah, it's been a great day. Hopefully you guys got value, and I'll see you tomorrow.